Gunpowder has been the principal weapon of many wars throughout world history, particularly in more recent conflicts. Now, let us examine gunpowder and its history. In terms of its composition, it consists of potassium nitrate, known commonly as saltpeter, sulfur, and charcoal, and is known for its explosive properties. As far as we know, the first people to invent and use it were the Chinese. It was first employed by the Chinese in flying fire gunpowder bombs. In 1132, during the war between the Song dynasty and the Mongols, gunpowder was used as an effective force in bamboo cannon for the first time. In addition to these, the Chinese also used gunpowder in various other fields. The beginning of its spread across the world, however, was the Mongol invasions. Chinese merchants may also have contributed to this spread, yet it was mainly during the Mongol expansion that the peoples of the Middle East learned about gunpowder, from where it eventually reached Europe. Indeed, many important inventions first appeared in China, then reached the Indians and the peoples of the Middle East, and from there spread to Europeans. The Mongols used gunpowder effectively in their western campaigns with their cannon. In the 13th and 14th centuries, cannon were used in Islamic states as well, but among them the Ottomans were the ones who valued and employed cannon the most. During the conquest of Constantinople, modern-day Istanbul, as well as in many field battles and sieges, the Ottomans used cannon with great effectiveness. Europeans first discovered gunpowder in the 13th century, but began using it as an effective force in the 14th century. England, France, the German and Italian city-states, and Spain were the first in Europe to use hand cannon, bombards, and early firearms effectively. These weapons began to be employed successfully in castle sieges, castle defenses, field battles, and naval warfare, although spears, swords, armor, bows, arrows, and shields were still powerful weapons. In the 15th century, cannon improved, and the first personal firearms began to appear. Hand cannon, muskets, and arquebuses developed largely within Europe. By the 17th century, the effectiveness of melee weapons had nearly vanished. In the 18th and 19th centuries, firearms became highly advanced. Rifles, grenades, and cannon were now the main weapons of war, while swords were used merely as secondary weapons, and melee arms without gunpowder had become largely symbolic. One of the most important factors enabling Europeans to become the dominant power of the world was their advancement in firearm technology. Up until the First World War, rifles and cannon were the primary weapons of battle, but the impact of the war led to the emergence of newer technologies. Machine guns appeared to halt enemy infantry. Aircraft, once used mainly for reconnaissance, now bombed targets on land. Tanks were invented to break through enemy infantry lines. Anti-tank weapons appeared to counter tanks, and anti-aircraft guns to counter aircraft. With scientific progress, nuclear bombs were created, but due to their extreme destructive power, conventional firearms continued to play a dominant role, and during the Cold War, these weapons evolved even further. Drones, air defense systems, missiles, far more advanced cannon, tanks, and rifles have carried the legacy of gunpowder technology into the present day. These are the pieces of information I gathered about gunpowder. See you next time.